So a lot of it is stuff we knew about, getting dates and stuff. Stuff we figured was coming. So like on this slide, we get Concord. We finally see what that is. Again, PlayStation investing heavily in making new teams to make some live service like games. Concord opened the show with a CGI trailer and a extensive look at gameplay. Looks to be like an Overwatch like coming this year. The other thing with all these games, because even Overwatch is free now, right?
Yes, sir.
Is if that comes out and it's even $30-$40, it's hard to get people to buy in, you know? So that's gotta be free in some way. You know, stuff like God of War Ragnarok coming to PC, kind of figured that was coming. Get that confirmation. Until Dawn remaster, get remake, actually, I think is how they're classifying it, because they're changing the gameplay as well.
Games.
That's right, Epoch. But then there's some fun surprises in there, like Silent Hill 2 coming in October. Confirmation on that. We'll probably see more of that here shortly with the Silent Hill event. Dynasty Warriors Origins was a pretty hype one. The return of Dynasty Warriors in a big way. More like It's So Overwatch, am I right? Here, we'll go through from the beginning. Concord had like a little intro video, like a CGI sequence. Showed a lot of character, and they do say amidst the 5v5 matches that you'll have, there will
Dynasty
be
Warriors plus Gundam DLC PLS.
Don't they already have Dynasty Warriors Gundam?
Yeah.
There will be like story sequences. So like while at some point, you know, when you see the see stuff like that CGI sequence, you're like, okay, is this actually representative of the game? There's no story, right? Like, how's this actually representative of the game? But this game, they seem to tease that there would be story elements to what's going on here in Concord. Like in between matches, you unlock new story chunks with the characters and stuff. So that's interesting to see. But I was a little disappointed that it seems to just be another Overwatch, right? Like I was hoping for a little bit more, especially with what they talked about and the way they presented the game. Kind of looked like a heist kind of thing, but and it seems like there are objectives that are like that. I saw at one point they grabbed that little robot that they showed in the CGI trailer. It's like a little iPad. Buddy. Yeah, it's like a little iPad that they like have to steal and take back or something. And I do like that it looks like really fast paced and acrobatic kind of combat, but ultimately I'm looking for a little more, like I already get my competitive thrills out with Fortnite at this point, you know. I'm looking for a little bit more, but at the same time, like you do want to support new IP, right? So it's complicated, and if it's easy to invest in, I'll give it a shot, you know. But what's your thoughts on Concord?
I mean, yeah, it's if it's free, definitely give it a shot. If it's anything more than like $20, you're probably not gonna get too many people to buy into it just because it's a new IP. And I mean, judging by how we saw that character list where it said like free agents or whatever, I'm guessing it's gonna be free to play with some paid characters that you can, you know, on a weekly basis rotate out.
Battle pass.
Yeah, battle pass. There's some monetization in there just to get going, but I mean, it would have to be free for anyone to, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I was hoping for more of like a high style. But yeah, I mean, it had a personality, which I enjoy a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of color, a lot of like you said, a lot of character within the characters. Yeah, I mean, it looks or multiple respawns across a match. You're seeing that a lot more though, right? Like Valorant has done that as well with like a lot more character and personality. And yeah, I don't know. I guess it's good to have alternatives to Overwatch, right? Because people are kind of sick of Overwatch. But until you have this in your hands, you don't know how that feels, how that manifests. It is coming to PC. Seems like day one, day and date with PS5, so that's good. But yeah, that was the way they opened, which I thought was interesting as well, because I mean, it is a game people have been waiting for, so it's not like shocking that they're heavily investing in this. I'm quickly looking at PlayStation blog to see if there's anything there, anything new. It's a love letter to sci-fi adventure inspired by art, anime, film, and TV series. Yeah, there's just a lot of the same stuff we saw in there. No. We'll share more details. That is true. Look here, pre-order.
Yeah.
And we'll share more details about Concord's editions and launch pre-orders. I guess there could be like exclusive edition. You get a bunch of free characters and whatever, skins. And
like basically a head start type deal.
But we'll see.
Yeah, because if they pump this out at a $60-$70 price tag, I feel like that is dead in the water.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
And then then they had the PC God of War Ragnarok, which again, expected at this point, coming with all the stuff you expect for a PC port these days, which is unlocked frame rates, super ultra wide,
DLSS.
Yeah.
The FSR.
Here's the super ultra wide. Comes with the DLC, of course. It was a free DLC anyway, but just bundled in from the start. You don't have to download it separately. Yeah, I mean, again, what we expected. Sony seems to be doing this thing of they release the last game, like they'll release the new game and then they'll release the last game on PC, right? So maybe new God of War coming in the next few years.
Few years.
It's gonna take a while.
2027 is the year of God of War.
And then we got. This was the
Involved.
Dynasty Warriors. No, this is the Dynasty Warriors.
Soldiers and officials alike.
Return of Dynasty Warriors. They called this Dynasty Warriors Origins. So is this the beginning of all the lore of all these characters and all these wars and all these battles? It's fun. It's taken. Why did it take this long for us to get a new like a proper fully return to form Dynasty Warriors?
Yeah, it's been 6-7 years now since the last Dynasty Warriors.
Find out why the dynasties needed warriors. Truly. They call this the nameless hero. Seems like he can use multiple weapons because at one point he's using a spear, one point he's using a sword. So maybe it's like a character creator type thing where you can customize and level up your hero as you go. It looks good. No, I don't have a lot to say about Dynasty Warriors Origins other than I cannot wait to slam through hordes of enemies. But
yeah, classic.
Especially with the PS5's power, like if they're actually leveraging that in the right ways, that's gonna be hype. I don't know if it's exclusive to PS5, so that can change things. But if it is, and they're fully utilizing that SSD and everything else, like the other developers that do exclusives for it do, that could be pretty hype. And then there was Infold coming out the gates with this game, which looks so beautiful. Okay, so this is a series. Okay, I didn't know. We have someone in chat saying new Nikki game. So this is a series. This looks amazing.
Love Nikki, dress up queen.
Love Nikki and Shining Nikki. Well, now there's, what's this one? Nikki Fantasy? For mobile, yeah. I see. Yeah, and this looks wild. I actually forgot that there's combat in this trailer.
Yeah.
So there's combat, there's photography, fashion, platforming, seemingly giant open world kind of areas. What is the scale of this game, you know? fascinating. I have to do more research on the whole series, but like, that's a beautiful, stunning shot. The genre of like fashion games is becoming a thing too, with Fashion Dreamer that just came out last year on the Switch. Infinity Nikki, that's what it was.
Is it you who pursues infinity?
And then yeah, this like
Infinity awaiting you.
intense drama at the end. I'm like, what? What? I thought this was like cutesy fashion game, and then you got someone chained up. And then we had this other like, who is this developer? Where'd they come from?
Let's see.
Especially if it's seemingly they were working in mobile before this. So I think this one's might be a different developer, because this one said Tip Studios or something like that. But this looks to be almost like a multi-character Souls-like.
Well, they haven't been around long. August 2022.
Oh wow. But this looks really good as well. Again, seemingly like instead of like character creator stuff, it seems like you're playing as a set roster of characters here. You got this guy with his kid on his back, got the spear lady, bow lady, armor guy. Shan loves Shining Nikki. Well, now you got Infinity Nikki. I'm actually, if there's a game that like I didn't know about that I'm like super hyped for from this, it's honestly Infinity Nikki. Because again, a lot of the other stuff was heavily rumored, heavily talked about, but that was something else, and it looked really good. This looks really good too. I'm just not as much a Souls guy. Did this do anything for you when you were seeing this one?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it. Hopefully, it's a lot more story driven than you know, just like a. I mean, I'm not gonna say Souls games aren't story driven, but this is like a lot more
like cutscenes
focused on. Yeah, and like it's not all trapped in like item descriptions. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, it looks like Infold was mainly doing the Nikki stuff from 2012 to 2020 when they started doing animation in 2020, and then 2022 they founded their game studios. Wow. So they've been doing good.
Good for them. I mean,
yeah, good for them.
And then this is kind of a showing out for them where, you know, if you know them, you know them. But like, I'm assuming this was an introduction, and what an introduction these two games were, right? To the wider audience. Like, big showcase. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Angry Bubby. But yeah, that was their little like presentation in the middle. They made a Little Nicky game, that's correct. You play as Lil Nicky. You attack the... Is that the one with the guy with the boobs on his head? Am I thinking of the right movie? Yeah, live exclusive dog commentary.
Cappy was happy about Infinity Nikki.
And then from there we went into... Yeah, this VR game from Skydance. They did the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners VR game that was like genuinely one of the better all around VR. Like it feels like so many VR games, right? They feel like tech demos. They feel like half baked ideas. And that game I remember playing and being like, oh, this feels like a game. Like this feels like a whole game. And
that was a VR seller.
Yeah. And now it seems like they're going out and making their own IP here, and this game looks great. Oftentimes, though, when you see these kinds of demonstrations, you're like, man, that looks so sick. I can't wait to get in there, and you're like so awkwardly like in there, like, oh. But then like these guys know how to make it look really cool. I like the sense of scale here. That was something they kind of seem to sell a lot as you're like navigating through these spaces with these giant enemies kind of watching you as you go. Yeah, the grapple hook thing is such a great VR idea, right? Like you don't want to be moving too much, right? So like the idea of having this grapple that you can dynamically bring enemies to you, and as they show there, bring an arrow towards you and then launch it back at people. This looks great. If it like actually fulfills the promises of what's being shown here, like this could be a PSVR 2 seller, which it has needed. So
Yes.
Thoughts on Behemoth from you?
I mean, yeah, just the sense of scale was the first thing that caught my eye about this, because it almost feels like you're fighting on the ground and then doing like a Shadow of the Colossus type fight.
Yeah, because there was that part where
against
he like
these-
grappled on the thing's foot, right? And like kind
Yeah.
of pulled it over, kind of thing. So it would be. I'm curious to see what that's. It almost reminds me of like old school God of War was. You know, like
yeah, definitely.
those. Again, you're slowly making your way through like an area, fighting off the little guys, and then eventually you get up. Of course, you'd bring up the foot grappling. I mean, how can you not?
Yeah. So yeah, it does look like it's start of a new IP, and potentially if it plays as well as it looks, that will be a PSVR 2 seller. Like
If that's exclusive as well, which I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. It doesn't seem to say PC down here, but like it could just be,
yeah, it could.
A PlayStation
Quest has
trailer.
Quest has the Azura's Wrath.
Yeah.
This will have Behemoth.
I think that's the main issue that VR faces, is that there's only so many VR developers. And so like often they have to justify embarking on big projects, they have to make it for everything, and then most people just choose to stick with what they got, right? And if PSVR 2 won, it does add the rumored PC compatibility, that'd be huge. And if 2 games like this, exclusives like this, do hit the way they're supposed to, that could be huge as well. But I feel like, I mean, PSVR 1 had exclusives that were amazing that just still didn't sell it. So they got to figure something out here.
You're telling me the Until Dawn light gun shooter
Carnival
wasn't a
game?
PSV? Yeah, it wasn't a PSVR mover.
Surprisingly, no. I mean, Astrobot, we talk about it, and we'll talk about it at the end of the sequence here, was considered like one of the best platformers that year that came out, period. And so many people, one, don't know about it, two, like didn't care to buy a PSVR to play it. So hopefully we'll see some more support for it. But yeah, this was a little PSVR block where they also then showed us Alien Rogue Incursion. Alien VR game, I'm out. Thank you. That's okay. I'm fine.
I'm good. Let's the next game. Let's go.
If I think I looked it up because it is called Rogue Incursion, so your brain is just like, it's a roguelike, isn't it? And I think it is. I think it is like a roguelike where you're going into this ship trying to find stuff, get out, kind of thing. Fun concept, especially in VR, right? Like you don't want to do long sessions, so like if it is a roguelike game, like keeps you from being stuck in there with this guy for too long. Go in for quick like 15-minute sessions, get out.
Do a run of Alien Rogue Incursion, then just to decompress, go grapple some feet in Behemoth.
And just keep it right in front of you.
Yeah,
That's true. Wait, I just realized there was a lot of shots of you getting stepped on that.
yeah.
I think that's a kink thing. You're right. Viddy was right. Viddy was right, dude.
Diddy's the one who gets.
Right? Yeah, face huggers literally right in your face. No. That's coming holiday 2024. Surprisingly, that was it for VR, right? Yeah, they normally had like kind of chunky VR segments, so it was just these 2 games. I mean, 2 big budget IPs and games, so like not the most disappointing. Next was kind of a stretch of some lighter things. Marvel Rivals coming to console. As we said, we played the beta for this. Pretty fun. It's pretty fun. One of the things beyond the actual, like I said when we were watching, beyond the actual feeling that these are distinct heroes, which you don't normally get in superhero adjacent games. Like they seem to just like mush them all into one play form. Like these characters all feel unique. The thing that they also do showcase here that I really like about Marvel Rivals is how destructible the environments are. You can really, it's almost like adding in like a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege into the Overwatch formula. So the hero shooter, but then you do create little holes in the wall and like shoot through them and stuff.
I will say what's great about the destructibility in this game is that it does revert
Reset.
back to.
Yeah.
Because like some games, shooters, for example, like Battlefield, once you destroy part of the environment, like it's gone forever. So a lot of games and people would go into those games like, oh, I don't like this part of the map, so I'm gonna destroy that part of the
Blow it
map,
up.
and when it's done, I don't have to worry about it. Here, you know, you can create the destructibility, and then you could not like it for that part of the map being there, and some people might like it, so it just resets, and you can do it again, or you know, just let it how it is.
Yeah, even like that Punisher on the bridge, right? Yeah, you see it breaks, and then he has to come down. Like it does change a lot of it. Looks like we got at least a third right there. Glory says, "I'm not a Marvel girly, but this looks fun."
It is fun.
I think this is supposed to be free to play, so that's always makes it a lot easier to invest. Is Black Panther not announced? Like, I don't understand. He was in the beta, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
So that's weird.
I'd play it with my friends. Yeah, that's the only way I'd play it too, really.
I'm in because I am a Marvel girly, right? Like I buy in on that, but yeah. So I'm not gonna play it on console, but cool, it's coming to console. So yeah, this game's interesting. Let me see if I can look up some stuff about it. If you want to talk about what it seems to be.
Yeah, I mean, first initial hopes and dreams that Nate had thrown out there is a one-on-one fighting game with like these big, almost like special ultimate moves with these big monsters and stuff. But it's looking more and more like it's almost like a boss rush type deal. Like if you like Souls likes but don't like running around, don't like the open world of Elden Ring or like the exploring of Dark Souls, you can just hop in here and just do a bunch of cool boss fights and have, seems like, you know, very different fighting styles and everything. And it just, we have no further information than that besides, you know, a bunch of arenas that we just saw with some boss fights. And hopefully it is something I'd enjoy, that just because it gets you that feeling of, oh man, I just took on this really crazy character and everything. Now I have to go back to another 2 hours of just walking around, and then it's like that feeling again. Here you can just go back to back to back to back.
So I just looked at, there is a PlayStation blog post.
Yeah,
it is that. It is going to be
Boss
that.
rush?
No, it is an
1v1?
open world RPG. So it is going to be Souls. It's going to have the running around back and forth with these.
But it's
big-
also fine.
Yeah. I think what's I guess what they decided to showcase with its reveal, right, is these amazing boss fights, right?
Yeah.
With these beautiful arenas and these like things happening all around you outside of just the fight itself, right? You got the giant fish, you've got the like giant griffin that flies in, looking really good. Yeah, so after Where Winds Meet, we saw another trailer for the Until Dawn remake. Yeah, excited. Like,
I mean,
it's Until Dawn. It's a really great one of the you know, I'm a defender of the studio whose name is escaping me suddenly, but I like them a lot. Supermassive
games, yeah.
who made Until Dawn, and I really like the Quarry, and I still, you know, they're not as good, but the Dark Pictures anthology,
Hey, don't you dare disrespect the Dark Pictures anthology.
I like that as well.
Those games are a treasure. Not for the reasons they'd hope, but they're a treasure.
And so, like, again, same thing we just said, right? Get this into more people's hands. One of those games. I mean, this is not as trapped, so well, maybe is it not even for? Was it like not even for
It's
sale?
on PS4.
Is it up for sale though? Like, I think maybe it wasn't. It was taken down or something. Getting it a remake though, getting it okay, it's free on PS Plus. Just kidding. I will say, based on the side-by-side screenshots I saw when they first revealed this, Until Dawn is not as pretty as you remember it. Like,
Yeah,
there
I
were some
remember that.
side-by-sides and I was like, wait, it looked like that? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I do not recall these character models looking like that, but I've seen the side-by-sides and it looks drastically different now on
I had
PS5 and
that
PC.
same feeling when we were going through like the Metal Gear Solid games,
Right.
and I like replayed like some of the older ones. I was like, it looked like this, and I'm like trying to like, no, I swear it looked better than this when I was a kid.
I also and it coming to PC is a big deal too because this was trapped on just the PS4. I believe it was a PS4, right? Yeah, it was PS4.
Yeah,
It was just on PS4, so getting this into even more people's hands that never had a PS4, haven't gotten a PS5, is always exciting. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
a good
especially
game.
since we got the Quarry. Like it was off the bat, right?
Yeah, that was on PC,
Yeah.
PlayStation. It was on everything because that was actually that game was another weird one because that was gonna be a Stadia exclusive that they paid for, and then
I wonder when their whole funding went to getting the Quarry on there.
yeah, and then it died. So then it came out on everything because they had made it for a cloud platform? Question mark. I don't know how Stadia development works, but I just got a weird notification. That I should not let our streak end, Fish. On
what?
TikTok.
TikTok.
Interesting. How many are I think most of the games here are PS5 and PC. Yeah. That is the new strategy for a lot of these developers. Because they're not seeing the returns they want with exclusives anymore. So they're releasing on PlayStation and PC a lot of the times because Concord was PS5 PC. I'm not sure about the Infold games. The only true exclusive in here might have been
The VR stuff.
the VR stuff and the last game on the show, which we'll get to shortly. Astrobot.
Robobot.
Yeah, I mean it's getting harder for platform holders to justify it. I think it is still the bet. Like their justification right now is this is the best console to play on the couch, right? Like for a lot of people, like we're better than Xbox. That's their justification right now. We have things that Xbox doesn't, so come to us. I think that might not be Glory. I don't know. You were saying?
And as someone who owns both a PS5 and a very powerful PC, there's just some games where, like I want to play it on a couch. Like it'll probably look better on my PC, but I'd rather just play it on my couch.
And games that do at least like games that are the few that are truly exclusive on the platform do like work and play well on the system. So
Spider-Man 2, what I'm playing right now, 4K 60 plus most of the times. Like it looks beautiful. It looks better than most PC games.
Yeah. This Path of Exile 2, which I think they're making. This is huge. If it's coming day and date, or is Path of Exile? Can you play this already or no? I don't know. I have not kept up with Path of Exile 2.
No, I don't think you play Path of Exile 2 yet.
If it's day and date with the PC release on console as well, it seems like they said they're gonna have an early access release on console, and it has couch co-op, which I know was a huge thing with Diablo 3.
That still sells Diablo games.
Yeah, like was the console release, and that was like a huge deal. If they're doing that with Path of Exile, that's huge, especially since, as you said, Path of Exile 1 was free, and if this is also free, like this is looking to be the Diablo. Like again, a lot of people are dissatisfied with. We keep talking about Overwatch and now having an Overwatch alternative. Now this could be the Diablo alternative for people from the Activision Blizzard family, right? Like so. Let me see. I'm looking up Path of Exile 2. Yeah, it's free to play, so that is huge. And it looks great. It looks like visually really great, and it looks like it captures that kind of flowy nature that makes it fun to play on a controller. Like it doesn't feel like the kind of game that would be better on PC. Like it feels like it looks, from what I could see, it looks like it plays well on console.
Glory, to answer your question, their website says PC, PS5, PS4, Android, and iOS. So Infinity Nikki
everywhere.
looks like it's
mobile too,
which I'm sure it's gonna be, but they say PC, so
I'll say, Sam, I think the value, like you cannot get a PC that plays things as well as a PS5 for the price of the PS5, right? Like there's
facts.
These days you have to get like $1,200 minimum to get like a really solid rig.
Especially because most people already own a TV, and if they don't, you know, it's like I feel like the for the fidelity you're getting on the PS5, it's hard to justify choosing a PC over PS5 if you only have $500 to thing, you know, $500 to spend. PC is just not worth it in some cases.
I think most people these days go like PC, like laptop PC for work, and then just get a console, you know?
Mm.
I think obviously as someone who has both, like one that can still keep up kind of with, like that's the thing with, for me, like I invested a lot into this PC and already I'm seeing like I can't run the best new games like on highest settings. So most of the time when it does come to multi-platform, I do want games on my console instead of on my computer because my computer just can't handle it anymore. And the idea, like I've been talking to Fish about getting a 40 series GPU, and it's like I almost have to invest 2K to get a pre-built that has like a 4070 in it and be like, okay, that's almost the price of buying a 4080 on its own, you know? Like
That's also the thing too, is that we've somehow in this time shifted to like pre-builts nowadays are cheaper.
the value,
than
that's the
building your-
value
yeah.
proposition.
Yeah, it's like it's cheaper than building your own PC now,
Because every time now these new GPUs come out, it's like, okay, you got the GPU. Do you have a strong enough power supply? Oh no, I have to upgrade my power supply too. Okay, and does your motherboard, does it fit on that motherboard? Oh, it doesn't. Okay, I need a new motherboard. Oh, to make the most use out of it, I got to get more RAM. Like, you know, so it's like, okay, I'm basically doing it all anyway. I'll just buy a new PC. Like, it's getting a little. PC is getting a little ridiculous in some ways. It's still the best place, obviously, like for true, like getting the most out of it as you possibly can. But it's getting a little ridiculous sometimes. So
Mhm.
Silent Hill 2, I'm fine talking over that because we just literally watched a whole gameplay sequence of it. Very little thing for me that keeps me coming to console. I sort of hate the PC master race culture that crops up that as well. You know, like people do. I think that's starting to die down. Like people,
Yeah, it's definitely died because
the money.
Yeah.
Two, like, the generally, I think people are just like, yeah, the PS5 is pretty sick. You know, like, you know, stuff like that. Like, it is pretty cool that I can just go over there and play a game that looks just almost as beautiful, you know. And in some cases, again, with some of those exclusives, like, has a lot of more benefits to playing on the PS5. Faster loads, you know, better cool, fun little controller things that the PS5 always touts, but is actually kind of neat. You know, it's a fun fringe benefit. But yeah. Yeah, I agree too that you can also move things a lot. Move a PS5 around from place to place.
Which is the issue I have here in my home. Like, we live in a 2-story house. Like, I'd rather move my PS5 than somehow move my PC or get a long enough HDMI cable to do something. I just put on the PS5 and let's just call it a day.
Yeah. Our PS5 state of play analysis has become the benefits of console versus which, I mean, like, I think it does always come up, right? With all the dumb console war stuff, and then PC fans coming in and be like, oh, my PC can play all those games. Like, you know, makes sense.
I feel like this whole console war thing, it's so cringe. It's just play the games wherever you want to play them and just let people enjoy games.
We're over it. I just want to play games,
Truly.
man. I just want to play games, and I want people to keep their jobs. That's all I care about now. Because in a way, you can argue that the console war thing has resulted in people losing their jobs because Xbox buying, you know, companies and then shutting them down, and like was a result of feeling threatened and feeling like we need more exclusives, and it sucks. Video games suck sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
The last two games they showed here, I believe it's the last two, because this is Monster Hunter Wilds, which we saw pretty extensive gameplay look at. This was revealed last year during the Game Awards. And this, I mean, it looks like Monster Hunter. Like I like it. I'm excited by it, and I like the setting, and I like this seemingly like bigger narrative focus. I feel like the last few have done that actually. I know the one that was on Switch and then came to PC was like a ninja kind of one. What was that one called again?
Monster Hunter.
How do I forget? Monster Hunter
World? No.
Monster Hunter Ninja. Rise.
Rise, that's the one.
That one, I feel like when I played that had like a bigger narrative focus. I feel like the in general, like they are putting in a little more narrative into their games, which is cool. This seems to have like a pretty deep narrative focus. I like this, like, seems like a pretty big, you know, the games have always been about like one giant map that you keep going back to and like finding little nooks and crannies, hunting monsters at certain spots of the map. This looks like a giant map so far from what we've seen, this big deserty area. Again, as someone who's not a Monster Hunter guy, the combat itself looks like Monster Hunter. I'm sure there's some things that people would be like, oh my god, that animation's a little smoother and a little like, you know, like could really get into it. I think the one thing that we probably caught on to that seems new, you know, could be wrong again, is that like a bailout system with your mount where, you know, it can come flying in and pick you up and carry you around. But yeah, these look like fun. Wait, is that wait, hold on, chat. Is this a frog? I just thought about that. Is that a frog?
Mutant frog counter?
Is that is that our first frog of Summer Games Fest? Seems frog-like.
Being attacked.
Yeah, I
adjacent,
agree.
Yeah.
The Monster Hunter fans have been eating pretty good. Capcom, if you're a fan of a Capcom franchise, it's likely that you're eating good this last decade almost. Except in Mega Man. If you're a Mega Man fan, I'm sorry. But
we appreciate your
service.
your service. Holding it down.
Ace Attorney. I mean, they're at least putting out new stuff, right? Like they're doing the re-releases and stuff. So like, you know, they haven't forgotten about the franchise yet. Mega Man, maybe they forgot. But yeah, this looked great. I try every time. I try to get in.
Me
I just
too.
need to find that group, you know, and then I'll get in. And I have Monster Hunter World on PC and console. Like, maybe I'll try.
I think I got that bundle that I was talking to Kat about. I think I have Rise and World on my PC, and I'm like, I just, Monster Hunter.
They're eating good. They're eating good. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Switch. I think Switch is. There's a reason Switch is eating good as well, because I think it does have that convenience factor that makes it even more exciting. And if this new Switch 2 does end up being all that it promises to be, you know, which is kind of an Xbox Series S portable. Which, hey, I would take that. I would
At
really
this point, I'll
that.
take it. Please do me anything.
Because yeah, what's there right now? What's there with the Switch is it has been creaking for 3 years, you know, and so I'm ready to see them come out with something that can keep up somewhat with what the others are doing. It doesn't even need to keep up, really. It just needs to be able to actually
Handle itself.
handle the games that they're making. So hopefully, right? Hopefully. But here and then to finish out the showcase comes Team Asobi. That's right, Astrobot is back, getting his own full game. This is just called Astrobot, right? Because I think the free packing game is just called Astro's Playroom.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Astro's Playroom.
And that was such a delight for the people that played it. It was a genuine like 2-3 hour platformer that just felt good. It actually handled everything the console. They're like, if you need to show someone, okay, so what's the big deal about the PS5? You give them Astrobot, and or Astro's Playroom, and you have them play that, and you go, okay, like this is cute, and it showcased everything about the triggers, the feedback, all it had all that stuff. And it looks like we're getting a full platforming adventure.
Big game too.
Yeah. It's still continuing the trend of like, what I really like about this, right, is it is adding in a level of emotional like investment into the console, the literal console, because in the game, and you'll see towards the end here, there's a shot where like Astrobot's on like an armada of all the different PlayStation consoles. Like this is something PlayStation's needed for years. They needed a mascot. They needed a way for people to get invested in these franchises and in literally the hardware. Look, there's a PS5. You're like actually
playing
playing
it on a DualSense controller.
You're like saving the PS5 itself. Like it's such a cool little concept, and yeah, I'm so excited for this. The bosses look amazing. This is like, it's we don't get these games anymore, like we're all waiting for Super Mario Odyssey 2, which seems like it is happening for Switch 2. But
yeah.
we don't get enough of these games. We don't get any old school platformers with epic like multi-phase boss fights and collectibles galore. We don't get these anymore. And so like to see Sony investing in their own franchise here with Astrobot is so exciting, and this looks great. It looks so fun, so cute. Yeah, here's the Armada shot. Let's see.
PS3 Slim. We got PS2 Slim.
They call this the PlayStation Aim, I believe. There's the PS that looks like a PSP.
Yeah, is it a Vita?
I think it might be a Vita.
Yeah.
But I think it has that little lip that the PSP has.
Is the one next to it the PS2 LAN box thing, the Ethernet box?
Oh, down here? Or?
Yeah, no, right there on your mouse.
Right here?
Yeah, that one.
It might be.
It looks like
this
the PS2.
I think this is a mouse attachment.
Yeah,
they have.
the SingStar.
SingStar. I don't know what this is.
It's a UMD.
Oh, it is a UMD. So it is a PSP.
Yeah, it has to be PSP.
PS2 controller, PS3, PS4.
Yeah.
PS Slim, PS2, PSX down here.
Yeah, PSX. PSVR. And
I don't know what this
that's got to be, I don't know, the PS4 Slim looks
maybe,
like.
Yeah,
the edges.
You got the PS1
original.
PSVR, the PSVR 1 aim controller.
The fat PS2? No, PS4 Slim. PS4 Pro?
Maybe Pro, yeah. This is Slim.
That's the multi-tap?
Here's that is the multi-tap. This is the
and
PS1
the other original
multi-tap. Yeah.
The original multi-tap.
This is the this is the fucking the little thing where you can put your saves on it, and you can like you put the memory card into it, and it had little games on it, almost like the Dreamcast VMU.
What's the colorful one?
This is for the quiz game.
Yeah.
I forgot what
Pop,
that
was it Pop?
It's not
something?
Pop. It's
Mega.
He's got the like blonde hair. Buzz.
Blonde hair.
Buzz.
Yeah. Buzz. Yeah.
Buzz something.
Buzz.
This is the George Foreman grill PS3. This is the analog stick attachment for the Move controller. It's the iToy, the original.
iToy, yeah.
PS3 controller, maybe?
No, PS4 controller.
Does it have
the smooth? Yeah, it's got the smooth. The PS3 controller on the left.
Or is that the PS2 controller? Who knows?
Oh, possibly.
Move controller. What is this? Maybe this is the PlayStation camera. Like for the PS4, PS5.
They got the other pistol attachment.
The pistol. So yeah, they show they show out for the system's history with Astrobot. Yeah, and we saw as people mentioned earlier, there was like Uncharted mentions, Journey.
Yeah, right there. There's
here. Let's look
Aloy.
at this. Left to right.
Left to right. We're doing
Kratos.
Who's the yellow?
I know
behind him. Kratos. Who is blonde spiky? Is that a?
That's Ape Escape.
Yeah, Aloy, Nathan Drake. Yeah.
So maybe that'd be kind of fun. You're like saving
each world, like each franchise.
Like you go into like a world and like they're like, hey, I need your help, and they each like it's like a whole world, and we got the desert one, an ice one for Ragnarok, like forest one for Aloy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
fun. Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm day one. I'm sold day one.
Day one. Nate, the biggest Astrobot fan.
Truly. I need to finish and play the PSVR one because I played the first bit of it, but I've always been the same thing with VR, which is it's so isolating. And then especially playing a single player game in VR, I'm just like sitting there and like I want someone to watch at least or something. You know what I mean? Like it feels
What
like
if someone kills me?
it makes it fucks me up a little bit. But